Hey, what's up, folks? It's Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, channel that always has your back and tells it like it is. Well, in today's episode of the weekly update, this is the first one of 2023, brand new year. We had the Sony CES conference. So this was their big time conference where they announced all of their huge updates that are going to be coming out this year. Super exciting. A lot of really cool stuff was shared. A lot of sort of Easter eggs that tie back into Jasmy, whether it be through partner companies, whether it's in their words that they were using, even their imagery. You know, there are certain things there that tied back into Jasmy. Super exciting. I'm going to leave a link in the video description for you to find that. It's roughly about 50 minutes or so, but it's got just a ton of cool info in it. So we're going to be talking about that in today's video. I'm also going to be talking about the pump, right? We got the pump going right now. Really exciting. You know, we've had so many down days that get a little jolt of life support is extremely exciting to just kind of see, you know, like what this thing could really do when it really takes off. It's just like, it's a good feeling, right? So we're going to be covering that, as well as I got a couple other items to go through in this week's video. So as always, if this is your first time to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed today's video. And lastly, if you click the bell, you'll be made aware whenever I post time-sensitive content just like this. And now, let's get it started. All right, check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Check, check on live in 3, 2, 1, and blast off. What is up, everybody? Glad to be back with you on yet another edition of the Jasmy Weekly Update, our first video of 2023. So happy New Year to everybody out there. Wanted to kick off the video first with this post here by Lil Bidman recognizing Kunitake Ando's birthday. So Ando, our founder here of Jasmy, his birthday is January 1st, 1942. So that would make him 81 years old. So absolutely amazing. Talk about longevity and all of the things he's done in his career. If you don't know who Ando is, or if you've never researched him, highly recommend doing a Google search on him. Just extremely impressive background. He was basically with Sony for like 50 years. So extremely long time, made it all the way to CEO, you know, knows everybody in the industry, yada, yada. But his presence alone in Jasmy cannot be understated. He is significant to this project. Okay. So happy birthday, Kunitake Ando. Moving on up, had a post here from Simon Greco showing us over 42,000 holders now of Jasmy. I actually checked it today. It's right around 42,003. So we've added roughly about another 300 on top of that. Here was a post here from Graham. You know, I figured I'd reference this just because I think it's relevant to the overall market. Where he says, if you had a tough year in the market, don't be too hard on yourself. It's been the worst year for stocks and bond combo in the last 150 years. That about sums up 2022, right? You know, I can't remember how many years ago it was, probably 5 or 10 years ago. There was a game that a football game here in the US that the New York Jets played, and they were absolutely terrible, right? And the coach had them take the football from the game and like go bury it in a field somewhere so they could move on. I think we all kind of feel that way about 2022, especially with the crypto market. So kind of tacking on to that, I shared this post here for how I was feeling on January 2nd, where I said, I've either got a first class ticket on the Titanic, or maybe, just maybe, I'm on the Phoenix that will rise from the ashes of the worst investment year ever. We'll either go down as geniuses or fools. And there's a lot of truth in that statement, geniuses or fools. You know, the interesting thing with crypto, and you see a lot of posts about this where people are talking about how, you know, they tried to tell their friends or their family and they just kind of brush them off or whatever. even me, I mean, I've got this channel here with 21,000 followers all over the planet, and I can tell some of my closest friends, my family, about things, and they don't listen. So ultimately, um, you get a lot of shrugs, and I think a lot of that is just kind of this bad press that's been following us around with these various crypto related bankruptcies, and now this Genesis one is kind of the latest one that's cropping up that looks like that may not go down so well. So anyway, overall, I think as an industry, as a market, it will recover, but this kind of thing just takes time. It takes time to work it out, right? So moving on up from there, the Jasmy Spaces call last Sunday, I was not able to join this one. I had a family dinner and couldn't make it. But I did listen to the entire call. I know Jasmy US hosted, and I know Brian was on there, and I think Rob T was on there. A lot of really good insights on that call. So if you didn't have a chance to listen to it, definitely check it out. The Jasmy Spaces call from last week. Um, Now moving up, this was kind of interesting. So this post here by Keytard, ain't that bullish AF, right? Sony talking about blockchain about all their products. So this was an interesting little screenshot where I'm assuming he got this from the Sony page. Says Research and Development Center blockchain system. So it says here, beyond the hype attached to blockchain technologies, the decentralization and democratization, these are both keywords with Jasmy right here, of information can have genuine and profound impacts on the fabric of our society and how business ecosystems are built. That's like a straight up Jasmy sentence right there, just crazy. It says, at Sony, we are working on decentralized solutions that will give users control over their digital identities, user control, again, remember democratization of data, and personal data, again, straight Jasmy, and how this information is shared with different parties. So it's all about making that data secure, right? Again, Jasmy, this is all IoT. We are also developing decentralized solutions for improving operational flows within the music industry, helping artists to manage their creative rights and royalty payments. So, pretty neat here. Identity, personal data, creative rights, crypto assets. Look, it even says crypto assets to a user's digital wallet to third party. Now, I saw quite a few posts on this throughout the week that various people kind of noticed that. They said, wow, look at that, it's even has the Jasmy orange in the logo, or in the logo, sorry, in the arrow. So pretty awesome there. Overall, I thought that was a pretty spot on find, that basically that entire paragraph was just talking about Jasmy. So awesome. Now here's one from Jasmy US. Utility billion-dollar partners, government collaboration, tax laws changing, the perfect storm for a Jasmy liftoff in 2023. This was a super cool image that Spencer did here. He's Jasmy US. This is a really cool image that he put together here. I thought that was just super cool. There was another one I saw, I think later in the week, another Moon Man, that was also really cool, but thought that one was just amazing. Now, here was a big time kind of drop the mic post by Brian. So if you're in the Jasmy community, or if you just started following this, or if you've been following it a long time, if you're on Twitter, highly recommend you follow Brian Russell. His handle is at WC3068. Brian does just a mountain of research that, Dip Metaverse, he does a ton of research too, and Zippy does also, but gosh, Brian really just does a lot, and he connects dots that I just never even see, right? So I'm going to go into his post in a second, but what he posted was the video from the Sony CES conference, essentially, where it's kind of like when Apple rolls out their new products. Same thing with Sony, right? And it was an hour long. Talked about all of their products and things that they're doing for 2023. Talked a lot about the Gran Turismo movie, which looks really, really cool, I got to say. Definitely going to go see that one because I did see Bullet Train, and that was a Sony movie as well. But some of the nuggets I heard here. So first of all, they're creating a new car brand, a electric car, Afeela, which is via Sony Honda Mobility. And with it, it has 45 sensors and cameras on the vehicle. Now, again, think IoT. All of these things are plugged into the net, and that data has to go somewhere to be managed, right? IoT. So these are all kind of like huge Easter eggs towards Jasmy. Another one, they said the car itself is going to be coming to North America in 2026. Now, 2026 aligns with Japan's national data strategy, which Jasmy's KPIs are based on 2026. Everything in the Jasmy KPIs looks to be very tightly aligned with the national data strategy of the country of Japan, right? Next, Qualcomm. So Qualcomm is a partner here with Sony and Honda, and that is really huge. Also, massive company, right? And they're partnering for consumer and industrial IoT and IoT edge networking. This was all in the slide of this video, right? And why that's relevant, again, we're talking IoT, Internet of Things. That's exactly what Jasmy is. And Jasmy uses edge AI uh, for their inferences that they're basically getting from the data, the platinum data that is in the PDL. So IoT edge networking, that is a direct shout towards Jasmy and edge AI. So I thought that was just absolutely awesome. Now, Brian posted the link to the video. So anybody who's looking for this, you can find it on YouTube. I'll see if I can post the link in the video description here. If you want to watch it, it's roughly about 50-ish minutes or so. A lot of really cool things were in there. And so I want to kind of go through Brian's post because he just did a ton of research in this, and it's very worthy, very worthy. This kind of shows you why we're all so bullish on Jasmy in general, even though the market's been totally flat, right? So 1 out of 10. If you've been researching Jasmy, then watch this now. What Sony just announced is insane. My mind is blown, right? So screen grabs are only the highlights. Use reader mods and zoom if needed. So these are some of just the screenshots of from the conference there. AI agents, fan tokens, IoT modules, to name a few keywords that relate to Jasmy in these slides. PSVR 2 launched February 22nd. Mobility, IoT, sensors, VR, AR selling Oculus and pre-ordering now. You hooked me, PlayStation 5, right? And again, where Jasmy comes in, you start to think about that platinum data, securing the data, getting inferences from that data. The sky's the limit with this, right? 5 out of 10. Sony Honda mobility platform. Sony Honda mobility, cybersecurity, Qualcomm, Borks, AR sensors, IoT modules, AI, Epic Games. For anybody who doesn't know what Fortnite is, you're probably living under a rock. Definitely, I think, probably the biggest game of the last decade, at least. I'm not sure if there's anything else out there that has gotten as much worldwide fame as that does. Mine's still exploding. This is funny. So much to unpack. So I thought this was pretty awesome overall. I mean, Brian took like 10,000 screenshots here. I mean, just absolutely crazy, all the different screenshots. But the bottom line is that there were numerous Easter eggs from Sony CES that really shouted out towards Jasmy. Okay. So keep an eye on those for sure. And I think, this is some of the stuff that 2023 and beyond, if you really start looking at that Japanese national data strategy, you can kind of see all these things sort of align. And it's just crazy how big this could go from here. I mean, we are at the very beginning of this. So big deal. Moving on up, our friend Dip Metaverse. 100 million was added to circulating supply about 3 hours ago. This was earlier today, right? So 46.4 billion. I checked that on Coin Market Cap, and that does look to be accurate. So 100 million went into circulating supply. And from that, Adwan, another friend of ours here, had made a reference that all the Jasmy 500 mil wallets are officially gone as of a few hours ago. And somebody asked, how many there originally were, and he said, roughly about 25. I remember that because you can go back and look at some of my original videos when we were counting those things down, and it was just crazy. I remember, everybody kept saying, oh, it's devs who are selling the coin or this or that. No, it wasn't. It was the market maker, apparently. And so we've followed that diluting all the way down to where we are now. And, Horace talked about, and I've talked about in the videos, that it's significantly ahead of schedule for the phases of growth for Jasmy that were projected. So we're really between about phase 1 and 2. But we've got a significant amount of the coins that are out there now. So regardless, that's pretty awesome, right? So that dilution is all but a thing of the past at this point, and we continue to add holders. We continue to go up every day. I know many of us continue to DCA, myself included, and so that's all awesome. Now, here was a post that I also wanted to reference. I think this was the last one I had today regarding the feed here. From Lil Bidman regarding the Qualcomm announcement that they were partnered with Honda for the Sony Mobility. And at BJIT, this is the IT consulting firm where our CEO, Katsumasa Sato, is also heading up over there. One of their partner companies that they work with is Qualcomm. And here's an image that shows Jasmy right next to Qualcomm. So that's pretty awesome, right? So I kind of wanted to go over there and just show you this real quick. So this is the actual BJIT site. If you type that in on Google, you can find it easily. It's Bangladesh Japan Information Technology is the name of that company. And here's some of their partners: Google, Sony, Panasonic, right? Panasonic is the one with the Hokkaido ballpark. Toshiba, like some really big companies are in here. Rakuten's in there. And then when you go to the second page here, here's Jasmy. Little old Jasmy, there it is, right? And then there's Qualcomm. So just absolutely awesome that's in here with BJIT. BJIT, for those who don't know, is a worldwide company. They've got offices all around the planet, Bangladesh. They've got Silicon Valley also. I noticed that earlier when I was looking at the BJIT page here, that they've got that. Some of their technology that they offer, AI solutions, that's Jasmy, IoT, Jasmy Blockchain, Jasmy, SAP, Salesforce, and so on, right? Just crazy. Now, I may as well show this as well. The leadership team here. So there's Katsumasa Sato. And, I actually had a pretty good thought when I was looking at this earlier, because there he is. And then if you scroll down a little bit further, here are the advisors. The honorable chairman is Kunitake Ando, right? But what I was thinking when I was looking at this earlier is this is a worldwide successful IT company. Our head of it, Katsumasa Sato, is also the board of director and chairman for BJIT. Now, why even mess with something like Jasmy if this company is as successful as it is, right? And you got to kind of ask that same question with Ando, which I've asked and posed, a couple of times. So why even be involved with it? He's now 81 years old. Why even be involved with this? Why? It's not some money grab. It's not somebody selling crypto for a few bucks. I mean, it's kind of like you can see there's a much bigger thing at work here behind the scenes. And I think it's a change in culture. It's a shift in their a plan as a country and their goals that they want to get to. And there's a lot of things that go into this, but why even get involved with Jasmy when he's right here in the leadership team of this company that's highly successful? Pretty interesting. And for Ando, he's also the chairman at Nagano University. So why even get involved? That's a really good question to ask. Why even do it? Why get involved with Jasmy? And I think the answer is because they know that that has the potential to be that tier one tech company if they can really prove the technology beyond all of this, all these little bumps in the road for these crypto bankruptcies that have nothing at all to do with Jasmy or IoT or blockchain, right? So anyhow, moving on. Now over here, I did want to go to the chart because I haven't been here at the chart in a little while. But I have been tracking the chart here, and you can see, it was kind of going through this descending wedge, and it broke out of that. Jasmy broke out pretty firmly, even when Bitcoin wasn't really moving. We've had some pretty good buys here, some green bars, etc. So all of that is really positive that it broke out. Where it goes from here, to be determined. Could go on a little bit of a run. One thing with our moving averages here. These two are getting closer together. So the closer they get together, the odds of them switching bullish are pretty good. And like I said, as people continue to learn about this project and buy into it, I think we'll continue to go up. I know I saw a post from Lil Bidman on Twitter that he's been using the Sagantosu fan token app and getting his DD coins daily. So that's pretty awesome as well. You could possibly sign up for that if you'd like. I think it's all in Japanese though, so I'm not sure if he's translating that or what. But regardless, you could be earning those DD coins. And like I said, the holders continue to go up, and the chart is starting to look pretty positive. So it's pretty funny what a difference in just a couple of days does from my post on the 2nd of it's like I'm either going to be a genius or a fool, to 3-4 days later, everybody's been feeling pretty good, and we really haven't even gone anywhere yet. So, this rocket here, I would say, isn't even out of the warehouse yet. It's kind of like we haven't even fully taken off the cover off the rocket. We kind of like peeled back a little bit. We saw it's nice and shiny, and it's a rocket under here, and that's about as far as we've gotten into the journey of this coin. So. We're all still very, very early. So anyhow, that's where I wanted to sum up the feed and what's been going on in the weekly portion. In the final thoughts, I'm just going to expand a little bit more on that Sony CES because that, I think, is the sign of what's coming in the future. If you're enjoying today's video, don't forget to visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/KIR Finance. Your support means everything. Now, let's get back to the video. All right, so in the final thoughts of today's video, I really kind of wanted to talk about that Sony conference and just, kind of like that national data strategy of Japan. It's so relevant to everything that's happening in Jasmy as a project. We're still so early. We're really between the growth periods of 1 and 2. We're not between 3 and 4 like we should be at this point in the token release. So the token release is way ahead of schedule from where we are in terms of building this company. But, hopefully I showed you in that section earlier when I was showing you the website for BJIT. Why are these guys even involved with Jasmy if it's just some, bogus crypto project, whatever? It's because it's not. It's really more so like just like a blue chip kind of company is what it is, as opposed to something that you follow in this crypto world of dog coins and whatever else, right? So I think that's just really telling, right? And then you look at all these connections under the surface. So BJIT, this company is connected to Sony. They're connected to Qualcomm. Jasmy, they're connected to, right? They offer IoT. They offer blockchain, et cetera, et cetera. You can see where these things connect under the surface, even though they didn't directly say Jasmy at the Sony conference. Now, the reason I think they haven't said that directly, and we've kind of talked about this, in various group chats, is I'm not 100% sure that they're ready for that, for a company like Sony to say, yeah, we're using Jasmy, and Jasmy's going to take us to the promised land with PlayStation 5 or whatever. I don't think we're there yet in terms of development-wise, right? Now, for what unfolds over 2023, this could be a really bullish year for Jasmy, even if the rest of the crypto market isn't as bullish, right? I think we could have a pretty bullish year. I also feel like I think we could have, I still think we could have a rebound sometime this year, maybe around summer, who knows, where this thing could definitely go on a little run here, right? So overall, it's still a great time to accumulate. It's a great time to get into it. It's a great time to learn about it just because it's so early on in this project. So hopefully with the Sony CES video, you get a chance to watch that. You get a chance to get caught up in what's going on in the world of Sony and IT and Jasmy, right? And then also, regarding the latest pump, the market has been looking for a shot in the arm for a long time. And so I'm definitely happy everybody felt that. Like I said, we've had so many down days. It's good to see some up days of what the potential is here. Everybody with their little Snickers and this and that, they're going to be kicking themselves a couple years from now. Mark that, all right? So with that, that's all I got for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget that I am also on Twitter at KIR Finance, where you can find me tweeting and retweeting, so check me out there. And then lastly, for a friendly reminder, this is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, the channel that always has your back, tells it like it is, and I will see you on the next one. Later.